lots of heavy rain out there across portions of the First Coast. So big picture here shows you that rain all across coastal areas here on the First Coast. Some of you inland, places like Lake City, Waycross, you're not seeing the rain. However, those of you along the I-95 corridor and points east towards the beaches, we are dealing with rain, and so much rain that we do have the risk of flooding. So zooming in now, let's take a look here at our flood advisories. We do have 2 of these over portions of St. Johns County. I'm going to read here what we have. So the one over World Golf Village, this is a flood advisory that's in effect until 11:30 p.m. This is for flooding until 11:30 p.m. Flooding caused by excessive rainfall is expected, and this is again over St. Johns County. Now we just got another one that popped up too, which includes St. Johns, and this also goes until 11 p.m. So one until 11 p.m. and then the one over World Golf Village is until 11:30 p.m. We're going to now take a look at some of our cameras. So maybe we could take this full screen and get a better look at cameras across the First Coast. So the first one that we're looking at here, this is from the top of our studio. This looks out towards Daly's Place. You can see it lit up, and look at all of the raindrops on the screen. It's looking at a lake, but it's kind of hard to tell the difference between the lake and then the parking lot because we do have such slick roads out there. In fact, one of our employees here just had to drive in, and so they said that driving through Jacksonville, they saw ponding on the roadways all across our area. So again, this is a look right outside of our window here at First Coast News with that heavy rain. Now let's see, I'm going to go over towards the beaches. So this is a look out at Jacksonville Beach here, about to load up for you all. And you'll see it looks a little hazy out there because of the heavy rain that's coming down. And when we go out towards the roads, let's take a look here. We're going to go over to JTB. You'll see there with that FDOT cam, lots of slick roads, lots of slow moving traffic, which is good, a good thing to go slowly on these roads on this Sunday night. I'm going to jump over towards I-95, and we're going to go down towards where we have those flood advisories. So closer towards St. John's. Here we go. This is going to be, there we go, I-95 at St. Johns County line. Look at that. You can see the rain coming down. You can see the raindrops on the screen. It's a little hard to always tell when the sun has set, but just sticking to the interstate, you can see how much of a mess it is out there. Other places that we're going to continue to watch is here in the downtown area. Of course, back towards San Marco, always concerned about flooding there. I'll take a live look out towards the San Marco area, and you can see the slick roads out there as well. And then I'd love to show you guys what downtown looks like here. We're going to load this up too. And you can just see the low-lying clouds, the heavy rain that's coming down, just a dreary evening here across the First Coast. So we are on because we are tracking heavy rain. We do have 2 flood advisories in effect. Those are these polygons here in bright green. World Golf Village, St. John's. It's just near and south of Durban and also near Nocatee. Those are areas that have been seeing rain a lot this evening, and more is on the way. In fact, if I zoom out, I want to give you guys a big picture here. Bear with me. I'm going to take it to our big picture radar, and you can see that more rain on the way. So let's see if this is new. Look at all of that lightning that's striking there south. Big thunderstorm complex down there. A lot of the rain down south has moved north, so that's what's lifted over Daytona Beach and Ormond into Palm Coast, moved across Flagler County, moved north through Putnam County, moving north through St. John's, and now crossing into Duval. Of course, we still have that rain for Clay County as well. Also, as we continue to head north, so for those of you inland, quickly, I just want to touch on places like Clay County. There is rain, it's steady rain. It's not as much of a flood concern. However, I am watching that heavy rain for those of you near and south of Green Cove Springs. And then as we go north, just a few of those showers still out there for Fleming Island, Orange Park, Oakleaf. Heavier rain now lifting north of downtown Jacksonville, heading towards the airport. So the heaviest rain now over the radar, over the airport. Yulee and Fernandina Beach, you have a lot of heavy rain now. And this is also lifting north into Georgia. So St. Mary's, really Cumberland Island towards St. Mary's, you're getting that heavier rain. And we've also had a lot of heavy rain earlier over Brunswick, St. Simon's Island, Jekyll Island. Now it's not as much of that heavy rain like we had in the 6 o'clock hour. If you joined us for the 6 o'clock news, we were tracking it, but still rain right offshore. Some of those showers, that steady rain moving onshore too. In fact, I am going to try to look and give us a camera from Georgia. So let's see what it looks like over towards the Brunswick area. It's hard to find a camera at night that shows a good image. Okay, so this is, there we go. So these, you can kind of see, this is out of the Brunswick area, Glenn County there. You can kind of see the lights swaying. I don't know if you can see that here very well, but those are stoplights that are swaying. It's a little bit breezy out there. We have the slick roads. You can see that there, that the roads are slick there too. Speaking of winds, let's get a check on our current winds. It has been a windy weekend. The winds picked up yesterday. They stuck around today. Look at that, St. Augustine, you have a sustained wind of 23 miles an hour. Earlier, when the rain was really ramping up in the 7 to 8 o'clock hour, we had a wind gust report of 40 miles an hour. In fact, I'm going to go check on that now too. Let me quickly pull up my information here and get you more on our winds and all of our weather reports. I'll load that in for you right now. Also, we have been highlighted by the Weather Prediction Center for the risk of flooding, which we knew and we talked about. So just another thing that all eyes are on us. National level, they're also watching out for the possibility of the flooding, mainly along I-95 and points east. Okay, it was Mayport. It was at the Mayport Naval Station where we had a gust of 40 miles an hour, and that was at 7:52 p.m. So now Mayport has winds sustained of 16, but let's check out the gusts. Gust of 24 in Mayport. Most recently, St. Augustine had a gust of 33 miles an hour. St. Simon's Island 25, Brunswick 26, Waycross 17. So back to our rain, the heaviest rain. Look at that, there was a flash of lightning there too. If I zoom in a bit more, you'll see it near St. John's, within one of those flood advisory polygons. So still that heavy rain falling there. More of this heavy rain down towards places like Crescent Beach and Marineland. That cell there moving to the west, the heavy rain across southern St. Johns County. Palatka, you are getting the rain. Same for Crescent City. And then zooming out across Flagler Beach, you have the steady rain. For those of you along 301, places like Stark, yeah, you have a bit of rain. A few little showers nearby in Lottie. A lot of that rain to the north and east of Keystone Heights. And then continuing north along 301. And as we reach I-10, you'll see there is some rain that just moved through the Baldwin area. Some of those showers trying to make it towards I-10, towards McClenny and Sanderson. We'll see if it actually holds together and brings you some sprinkles. Heaviest rain in Duval County, now over I-10 on the west side, and then it continues north too up to the Jacksonville airport, cuts across the airport, moves into Nassau County, and moves into Yulee and Fernandina Beach. So St. Mary's, you're next to get that heavy rain. I do know a lot of you in places like Lake City and Waycross, you do not see the rain. Now, Lake City saw rain earlier. We had some flooding earlier in the 6 o'clock hour for those of you in northern Columbia County. Now you're dry. Now the worst of the rain for all those coastal areas there. So we are under a weather impact alert, and the weather impact alert actually lasts through tomorrow, through tomorrow's commute, so until 6 p.m. Monday. We will have those widely scattered showers and thunderstorms possible throughout our Monday. So right now it's more widespread for those of you right along the beaches and I-95, so more coastal areas. And then tomorrow, more widely scattered showers and thunderstorms possible. And some of those storms could be strong. So I want to make sure, obviously, you have your alerts on for the app if you got this push alert as we're streaming. But make sure that you have those weather alerts turned on just in case a thunderstorm goes severe so you can watch it. Because when it comes to our risks and these thunderstorms, what we're most concerned about overnight tonight would be strong winds. So even severe winds, it's up to around 60 miles an hour. We'll have to watch out for that. And then, of course, the localized flooding. Already dealing with that. These grounds are getting very saturated, so where additional rain falls tonight and tomorrow, that could lead to more floodings, maybe some ponding on the roadways. Please be careful during the morning commute and the evening commute too. It's possible some of that rain could stick around to the evening commute. I'll show you that. But for now, Also watching this rain into the overnight hours. Can't rule out a brief tornado or a water spout. The risk is very, very, very low, but it's not zero. So we are staying here through the night. I'm staying well into the night and then passing off with Mike Prangley. So we will have weather and directors here all night just in case we need to cut in and give you guys an alert about severe weather. But here is this is a model run too, so showing you that in our overnight hours into tomorrow morning's commute, some of you still seeing that heavy rain and that stronger weather out there. Continuing past tomorrow morning's commute into the lunch hour, maybe a little bit more rain. Let me back that up. Okay, this is 12 o'clock, Lake City. It's showing rain for you, maybe some showers out by the beaches, and then continuing into the afternoon and evening hours. So pick up from school, maybe some showers and storms out there, commuting home from work, a few more of those showers and storms. So yes, it's possible some of you could see rain past 6 o'clock. There's 6 o'clock, then this is beyond. But really, we just wanted to get you through that evening commute. That is why we have the weather impact alert in effect until 6 p.m. because we want everyone to just be cautious, watch out for the roads. If you need some good news, I just want to let you all know that the rain chances are dropping by Tuesday, 10 to 20% chance of rain, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we're dry. However, for those of you at the beaches where a lot of you are watching because that's where we have the heaviest rain, I want to let you know that on Tuesday and Wednesday, we're still watching coastal conditions because we could have the possibility of flooding at times of high tide again, minor flooding, but still something we'll watch out for the beaches, the Intracoastal Waterway, the St. Johns River Basin. We'll have rough surf out there. We will have rip currents. And our gusts at the beaches could be 30 to 40 miles an hour Tuesday and Wednesday. So not the best time at the beach with those gusts of 30 to 40. Of course, the rip current risks too. And watch out for the higher than normal high tides Tuesday and Wednesday. But our temperatures will be comfortable. We'll be in the 70s. Normally this time of year, we're near 78. All these temperatures are below average. Look at Friday. Yes, it is possible on Halloween that our high temperature might stay in the 60s and the morning will be chilly. We're going to be in the 40s. So since we're already talking big picture, I'll just show you guys the 7-day forecast because we do have the weather impact alert through Monday. Not completely done with the rain Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Low chance of rain. Now Wednesday, we will have another front moving through, and so I think it's going to be more scattered rain across southeast Georgia and then isolated rain for northeast Florida on Wednesday. On Tuesday's rain, that would be for coastal areas. And then as we head into Thursday, the weather gets nice, the temperatures start dropping. Friday morning in the 40s, Friday afternoon potentially staying in the 60s. That means those of you with Halloween plans and Halloween costumes, you might need long sleeves. Trick or treat time is going to be falling out of the 60s and down into the 50s. And then football fans, Florida, Georgia on Saturday, I think this is good football weather. Now, depending on how early you're getting out there to tailgate, we are going to need some long sleeves because the morning will be in the 40s and the 50s. But then in the afternoon, we'll have a high of 71, which is closer to that 2 to 3 o'clock hour, so close to the start of game time, but then temperatures will be dropping through the game. So prepare for the 60s for at least by the end of the game, we will be in the 60s. And then that night to Sunday morning, we fall back. So you get an extra hour of sleep, but by Sunday night, our sunset is going to be right around 5:30 p.m. Okay, so we're gonna go back here to the radar. This is why we're streaming, because we have the risk of flooding, especially for our beaches areas. And I believe we do have, thank you, Chris. Okay, so my amazing director also taking a look at our cameras across the area. This is a live lookout at Jacksonville Beach. Ugh, it is just such a gross night out there. I mean, especially for those of you along and east of I-95. Those of you along the I-75 corridor, you're better. But speaking of I-95, let's go to I-95 and racetrack now. Thank you. Oh, amazing work, Chris. Thank you. So we do have a rough commute. Some people might be commuting. I got to commute home from work tonight. But rough time on the roads. Maybe people coming back from weekend plans. It is sloppy. It is slick. If you know anyone traveling, I mean, please give them the heads up that this is a long time coming. If you look at radar now, you'll see that whether they're say they're traveling from Brunswick, they're going to be driving through that mess. So they're coming up from Daytona Beach. They're not done with the rain. You got it all up and down that I-95 corridor in Florida and is moving back into Georgia. Let's zoom back in here, showing you how that rain is now lifting through Fernandina, moving back into southeast Georgia and dealing with more of that rain moving in that direction. All right, back down here. Let's zoom into Duval County. So back to Duval and Nassau, the heaviest rain from Fernandina Beach through Yulee and then to the Jacksonville airport, then extending over towards the west side. A little bit of rain out there for places like Baldwin. A lot of that rain fell apart when it got to McClenny and Sanderson. More rain down towards Middleburg. Stark, you're getting more of that rain. Green Cove Springs, now the heavier rain moving in. And then we still have those flood advisories in effect through the 11 or into the 11 o'clock hour for portions of St. John's. So heavy rain for Green Cove Springs, then we cross over the St. Johns River. We're going to head towards World Golf Village. Lots of heavy rain there too. And then over towards the beaches. So Ponte Vedra Beach, and then you're traveling south. You're heading towards Volano Beach and St. Augustine. Right now, a little bit of a break like for St. Augustine Beach, but there's still sprinkles out there in the area. Do we have a live look from St. Augustine, perhaps? Thank you. All right, they're going to work on that. We'll see what it looks like there in St. Augustine, because still some showers are popping up there on our radar, but kind of giving you a break. Big picture shows that more rain is on the way. So look at that rain that's starting to head towards Crescent Beach. So, all right, yep, the rain is falling there at the alligator farm, right? That's the alligator farm? Looks like it. Awesome. I don't even see any, sometimes you can see their glowing eyes. Maybe in the back? Trying hard to see. All right, yeah, looks like, okay, cool. One little gator out there in the back. I know they say this is good weather for ducks. Is this good weather for gators? Do they like it when it rains? Anyway, yeah, got some rain out there, again, in the St. Augustine area. And yeah, that's true. It is actually a little bit cooler out there for them. More rain towards Crescent Beach and Marineland and over towards Palatka too. So lots of rain to track down through Palm Coast. And you know what? Let's also, since we just mentioned temperatures, let's take a look at our temperatures across the First Coast. 60s right now in Brunswick and in St. Simon's Island. Everyone else still in the 70s. And I'm going to compare this to where we were yesterday. Let's look at our 24-hour temperature change. Okay, bit of a mixed bag here. A little bit cooler, just barely, St. Simon's Island and Brunswick and St. Augustine. Warmer in Lake City and Keystone Heights and Waycross, and exactly the same as it was this time yesterday for NAS Jax and Jacksonville. When we take a look at our radar, I'm going to put it back over a loop, let's say over the last 6 hours. This is how it progressed throughout our Sunday afternoon into our evening. Not a whole lot of rain out there in the afternoon, but look at that rain shield that lifted north and then it just started expanding across a good portion of the northeast Florida area, especially near Jacksonville. Let's make this faster. All right, there you go. So you see how it just kind of expanded and grew. So first I'm going to take a look at our rainfall totals. These are radar estimated rainfall totals. Let's zoom in and do this together. So we'll start near Ponte Vedra and look at that. Some purple, that usually means about 2 inches. So we have 4.3. Let me drag it over. 4.3 inches of rain, radar estimated. That's World Golf Village area. So that's 4.3 over World Golf Village. Over St. John's, it's about 1.5 inches radar estimated. Nocatee, you have radar estimated 3 inches of rain. Ponte Vedra, you have an estimated 2 inches of rain. And then also, I'm going to head over towards Lake City, Northern Columbia County. We had flood advisories earlier. Radar estimated rainfall totals in Northern Columbia of 4 inches. For some reason, pops up over there. There you go. So about 4.1 inches. Again, this is all radar estimated, but just to let you guys know and show you how much rain we've already seen. Man, look at that down south. Places south of us, a lot more rain, over 4 inches of rain expected or estimated in places like Titusville as well. So for us, yes, it still needs to catch up. This is obviously going to be added to in the coming hours with the rain that we have out there and more rain on the way. I believe we now have a live look at St. George Street in St. Augustine, right? Perfect. Oh, look at the umbrellas. Look at people out there not letting this slow their roll. They are enjoying St. Augustine, such a historic city. A good time to be there this time of year with it being all spooky, with a haunted city. So those in the St. Augustine area, our radar has been trying to show that rain clearing, but I am not surprised to see this because a lot of that rain's that low-lying rain. You're dealing with the misty conditions or the very light rain that's harder to catch on radar. So while it's pouring in World Golf Village, you're still getting some of that rain in St. Augustine, even though it's having a hard time showing some of it. Let me just pause this. Let's zoom right into St. Augustine. So we saw the live look. We know that they have their umbrellas out there, and yet, okay, yeah, it's not showing anything now, but we know that it's still sprinkling out there at minimum. Meanwhile, still heavy rain for World Golf Village, which is where we have that flood advisory in effect too. And again, the World Golf Village area, that flood advisory is in effect until 11:30 p.m. So at 8:22 p.m., there was radar indicated heavy rain due to thunderstorms. We knew that. Minor flooding was ongoing or expected to begin. Between 1 to 3 inches of rain already fell before they ever issued that flood advisory, and they were expecting at least 1 to 2 inches more of rain. And with the way that this heavy rain has just continued to fall since then, now let's do a loop of the past hour. This was issued about an hour ago. Look at that, just more and more rain falling over that area over and over again. So I'm sure they've had that. So those in the World Golf Village area potentially dealing with some of that flooding. Let me just get a check, make sure we haven't gotten any reports of flooding. Remember, if you see flooding in your area and you can take a picture safely, please send it to us. We have our First Coast News Weather Watchers Facebook page. That is the best way to send it to us, but if not, you can also send it to me on social media. You can email the news station and send in your photos too. But that helps us get, you know, those on-the-ground observations and really know what's going on. So if you are seeing flooding and you can safely take videos, take pictures, please do so. Please send them in. We would really like to see them to help verify our forecast. Don't see any posts yet. I know it is Sunday night. A lot of people just inside, which is good. I don't blame them. Okay, so back up to Duval County. I'm going to take this out of the hour. Let's put it back in the half-hour loop. So now the heaviest rain lifting through the airport, but those of you for the beaches, Mayport, not St. Augustine, oh my goodness, Neptune Beach, Atlantic Beach, Jacksonville Beach, more of that rain. And I'm gonna pull back up our cameras. Let's do another radar tour, or camera tour here. So this behind me, that was out of the Brunswick area. That was the last look we had. But I'm gonna go back into Jacksonville, and I'm gonna go up by the airport here. And let's see what it looks like on the interstate. Ooh. Wait till this loads. Yuck. So that is I-95 at Pecan Park Road. Looks like there's a disabled vehicle there on the side too, right there. Looks like our camera now just froze, of course, as I try to point it out, but those were flashing. So there we go. So you can see rough out there, a little dangerous. Please be careful. Remember, it's not great to drive with your emergency lights on, with your flashers on. It's not illegal anymore, but there's a lot of studies out there that prove that it's not the best for many reasons. One of them being, if someone has their emergency flashers on because they are stopped, they are a disabled vehicle on the side of the road, and someone's driving with them, after you see people driving with them on, you might think that that stopped car is also actually moving, and depth perception is already hard enough at night and already hard enough when it's raining. And you combine both of those, it's easier to slam into a car that's stopped. Also, when it's raining hard enough, the raindrops can reflect the lights, and so the flashing lights can make visibility even more difficult. So it's always best to not drive with your flashers on. I know there will be individual cases where you might think you have a good idea to do so, but generally speaking, it's best to just drive cautiously. But even if you're going slower, just be in the slow lane. Best to not drive with those flashers on. So this is also a look out at I-95 near the Pecan Park Road area, just a little north of where we were just looking. And let's just continue up and down the interstate. So I'm going to move south now, south down I-95, and the steady rain that continues to come down here. Look at that. And there's, okay, so this is south. We moved south back to the Pecan Park area. All of those raindrops on the screen, that steady rain that continues to fall. Now I'm going to go look towards the I-95, I-295 interchange. Let's see what we can see here. As it loads. Okay, yep, lots of raindrops. I'm going to go towards the Dames Point. Let's see what we can see at the Dames Point Bridge. Can't see anything interesting there at the bridge. That's not a great camera. There we go. Okay, yep, slow moving traffic, rain coming down. I think we have a live shot of South Side too, right? South Side? Perfect, there it is, yeah. So this is helping tell the story. Before we go, because we are about to log out now, but I just want to let you all know that big picture, a lot of rain out there, a lot of rain still on the way. We are nowhere near done with the rain. The steady rain overnight tonight, some of those storms could become strong. It is possible we could have a strong or severe storm while you are sleeping. So please have your alerts turned on, and we'll be here through the night watching it closely for you. Also tomorrow, that risk of rain continues, the risk of flooding continues, maybe a strong storm or two that we'll be watching it. So you know that we are staffed now all the way through the end of this, through 6 p.m. Sunday. That is when our weather impact alert is done. And so Monday, 6 p.m. Monday, sorry, thank you. So 6 p.m. Monday is when we have our end of the weather impact alert. So this is a long duration event for us. So please keep in mind, rain now, rain continues. Maybe you can get out the door a little early on Monday for work or for school because some roads will be very slick. We could even have some roads with some ponding on the roadways, some flooding of some of those roads and those low-lying areas. So smart to just get out there early, allow yourself that extra time on the road. And then something to just keep in mind throughout our Monday, it's not going to rain on you all day, all night. It's not consistent, but we will have that off and on rain that remains possible through the end of our Monday. So weather impact alert in effect now through 6 p.m. Monday. I will leave you with a look at the 7-day if you need some silver lining, or not silver lining, I would say a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Whoa, look at that. Okay, nice Halloween, if a little bit chilly, nice weather on Saturday too. So rain through Monday and just a few showers out there Tuesday into Wednesday. You know we will be here watching it very closely for you all. Thank you for joining us.